more advanced society, and that's how society is supposed to be. Every year that goes on, you're supposed to become better than your predecessors. And you look at some of these like listening to Charles Barkley today. I've always liked Charles Barkley. He went on the Dan Patrick Show today and was the most, and to use that term you said, I'm not even going to say ignorant because it's not ignorance on his part. It was just stupidity. He was just rambling off like an idiot, saying that he understands. And honestly, Dan Patrick made him stop in his tracks when he said, but you're dealing with a 4-year-old. 4-year-olds at that point barely are grasping the understanding of right and wrong. So by beating them with a stick, you think they're going to all of a sudden understand? They're 4. You look at a 4-year-old, they're innocent. They're completely innocent. You know, they're going to do things wrong because they're 4. They don't understand. So the fact that he's beating him with a stick is just disgusting in my point. And to kind of go back to what you were saying before about if an employer has the right, it's a much different situation when you're a professional athlete, especially one as high profile as Adrian Peterson, because his team has the right, because it is detrimental, because they're not a typical job. You know, he's getting paid millions of dollars to be a pseudo role model. I mean, he doesn't even have to be a role model per se, but they're trying to put something on the field that's family friendly. So if you have a guy on the field who beats his wife, who beats his child, that is completely against everything that the NFL says as far as the product they're trying to put on the field. So for them to allow him to play is just mind-boggling to me. Like you said, it shows where their morals and values are. Their values are trying to win football games, not trying to show society that there are repercussions for child abuse. And regardless of what he says about, you know, the way he's disciplining his child, just like you said, and I'm going to agree with you again, Keith, we've agreed way too much, but this is something that we have to agree on. He needs to understand the repercussions. He needs to know that, you know, you just do not beat a child with a stick. You just don't.
But it's sad because it's clear that he thinks that the way that he was brought up was the right way, and if he was hit with a switch, then that must be the right thing to do. So I'll just pass it on.
Yeah,
and that's a total cop out, you know, because like if you grow up that way and you really don't know any better, okay. And now Peterson has ascended to a lifestyle where he sees the world. You know, he's not trapped in East Texas for the rest of his life. He's been around. He's seen, he's heard things, and now he's seen the reaction, and he's not sorry. He didn't mean to hurt his son. Well, what did you think was going to happen when you hit him with a stick? Yeah, maybe you weren't aiming for a sack, but you hit a sack. A 4-year-old kid. Are you kidding me?
And going off also, and I don't like bringing up other shows, but one of the Danettes today, he mentioned the fact that Adrian Peterson, when he shakes your hand, literally your hand will hurt afterwards because he was taught to always have the strongest handshake. So they said you have a 4-year-old getting beat by one of the strongest human beings they've ever met. So you put that in perspective. You think about it. Adrian Peterson is one of the strongest players in the NFL in a league where strength is paramount, and he is beating a 4-year-old.
It doesn't get any simpler than that.
No, it doesn't. And going on with the whole lifestyle thing, and that's the way he was raised, I guarantee you he was not raised by multimillionaires who have no stress in their lives whatsoever. Because I understand that football players want to win games, but you can't tell me that he has the financial stress, you know, any kind of level of stress that his parents probably had. And now, mind you, I'm not once again saying that what his parents did was correct, but it was just a much different lifestyle to where sometimes the stress gets the best of you in situations like that. Is he really that stressed because his child was interrupting a game he was playing with his other child? Was it that stressful to him that he had to get a stick and beat them?
I didn't even see that side of it. I didn't even get that part.
Yeah. Because all these guys that are saying their parents beat them growing up, they came from, for the most part, poverty. So you have a parent who's, probably working 3 or 4 jobs, like Chris Carter said. His mother was a single mother raising 5 children. I bet they didn't have a penny, a pot to piss in. And so, yeah, the stresses of life sometimes cause you to do that. But he's a multi-millionaire who doesn't have to want for anything in his life. But he's so stressed enough that he has to beat his child with a stick.
Yeah, there's no justification. Anybody that tries to, you just got to tell them to shut up. Just stop and shut up, because there really is no excuse for it. And I cannot believe, for all of the praise that the Minnesota Vikings received last week for being out in front of it and deactivating him before anybody had the chance to grab the pitchforks and torches and head for Minneapolis. They were out. They handled it so admirably last week, and then to have it come back and realize, well, we still got Matt Cassels, our quarterback. We can't really have this guy sitting out very long. You can't tell me that there's any other motivation than that. Of course, they're going to say the right PR things, that they're trying to support their player and whatnot. But you look what happened yesterday in that game against New England, and it's very clear that they are not going to do anything on the football field without Adrian Peterson. And what is sad is that even weighs in to the equation.
Yeah. And that's the biggest, I think that truly is the biggest problem that the NFL is having right now, is they are just not reacting to these issues in just a normal, humane way. I mean, look at Carolina. I mean, I don't want to jump topics, but, you look at the Ray Rice thing, not handled correctly at all. You look at this, handled correctly at first, but then completely screwed up. Then you look at what's going on with Greg Hardy with Carolina Panthers, a guy that's been indicted on beating his pregnant fiance, or what I think it was his fiance.
She wasn't pregnant. You're getting all the stories confused. It was the 49ers defensive lineman Ray McDonald.
That's what it was.
That hit his pregnant.
That's what it was. And Hardy was his ex-girlfriend. But it's just like, how are these players allowed to be on the field? How is this allowed? I mean, are women and children looked at that poorly by the NFL that when they're just being beat left and right, they're like, oh, well, you know what? Maybe they're just, maybe the players are just having a hard time dealing with this and dealing with, it's unheard of. It's absolutely unheard of.
And the fact that the Panthers tried to placate everybody by deactivating him yesterday, and then Ron Rivera says in the post-game press conference that it was his decision and he'll be activated moving forward. Why? Because you're waiting for due process? You got to wait for these guys to go through court? You know what? They're innocent until proven guilty. Great. You know what? You need time off to deal with this.
Yeah.
And the thing is that they're still getting paid. So they're not going to complain to the Players Association. So you don't have to worry about anybody, being docked their earnings unfairly, if you want to believe it, because they haven't been convicted or anything like that. They're still going to get paid. Just let them stay away from the team.
Yeah.
And then
And honestly, to me, an indictment is enough proof that something happened to have them not play.
Well, you bring up a very valid point there. I don't understand why these organizations are so resistant to handling it, and they're doing this with the big name players, the ones everyone's going to recognize. But then, as I was getting ready for the show, there was a SportsCenter app update or what do you call it, push notification to my phone. And said, NFL probing domestic violence incident involving Jets practice squad wide receiver Quincy Enunwa. So you're going to probe a practice squad player, but you're going to let the star take the field.
Exactly.
I mean, honestly, Goodell is having a PR crisis to begin with. Take control of this league, Mr. Goodell. You are the commissioner. You are the leader. You are the face. If you're so damn worried about the integrity of the Shield, now is the time to make everybody fall in line with your vision.
Yeah. And I mean, they're going to have to do something drastic. I do believe this is something that's, and it sucks too, because there has been some great football, but because the NFL has handled all these situations, it's being overshadowed by their stupidity. And that to me is hurting the brand, because once again, a lot of people have been mentioning this, when they do their breast cancer awareness week, which they always do in the NFL, where the players wear pink and they show their support, which they should, who's going to take them serious? When you know that there's, I mean, who knows how many of the players abuse their spouses or better halves, you know what I mean? Because like you said, we're hearing from some of the bigger ones, but this seems like it's a much bigger problem.
And I'll go back on my statement. Apparently, according to ESPN, David Newton at ESPN.com, there hasn't been a decision on Greg Hardy yet going forward for this week.
That's almost as bad as a decision to say let him play, to have a no decision.
Yep, I agree.
It's a no-brainer.
At the end of the day, what is your organization going to stand for?
Yep.
And that's the only question that needs to be asked. All right. I think we've beat this topic to death. No pun intended. I can't believe I just said that.
I can't believe you just
said
that either.
I was just talking off the top of my head in that comment.
Oh, my God.
And it was out, and then I caught it afterwards, and I can't hit it.
At least it wasn't me this week.
Oh, my God, that was bad. I apologize. It was horrific. It was not intended. I promise you, folks. Please stay with us. We'll be right back after the break. You're listening to 87 Sports Fans Live on 87 Sports on Late Night Sports Radio.